This might look simple, but apparently it is one of the most comforting American family meals. A lot tastier and
yummier. And this is like everywhere.
And today we're finding out why people absolutely love spaghetti and meatballs. Now over here in the UK, there are spaghetti and meatballs, or we do have spaghetti and meatballs, but we always just buy them store-bought in a packet, chuck them in, chuck some tomato sauce in. Don't really go too much into making our own. I know some people do, but it's not one of those things we've really thought about. However, it's a big deal in America. I think a lot of families tend to have this on regular rotation, and it is one of those family meals that brings everyone together. It feels a little bit more nostalgic, a little bit more comforting, and a little bit like spending quality time with your family around the table. So the big question today, is this going to be one of the most comforting American meals that we've tried? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't think I ever had meatballs until when I visited America. And that was the first time I tried meatballs in Idaho in my sister's that she'd made herself. And I absolutely loved them. And then they became a staple here in our kitchen. But I've never actually made spaghetti and meatballs myself from scratch. So first up, we are going to start with some bread, because I believe breadcrumbs really does help to fill those meatballs out a little bit, give them a bit more consistency and texture. So I've just got 3 slices of bread that I'm just going to mash up here. Now, contrary to popular belief, spaghetti and meatballs, not Italian.
What?
Now, I really thought it was an Italian dish, but it's actually an Italian-American dish. And it was the early immigrants that came to America that decided to start making spaghetti and meatballs. Now, initially, meatballs were served with things like lentils, not really with spaghetti. They were really quite small, like small little pieces, rather than the balls that you have nowadays. Meat was a lot cheaper in America, so it was a lot more easy to come by, and they paired it together with the spaghetti to make such a comforting dish. Now, I believe in Italy, they sometimes serve meatballs with spaghetti, but it is not how it is commonly done. Now, I have been to an Italian here in the UK, where on the menu is meatballs as like a starter or appetizer, and they are family-run Italian restaurants, so they're pretty authentic. But I don't actually know if they've ever served spaghetti and meatballs as a main dish, so something I'm going to look out for. I found that some meatballs are beef only, but I think what's popular to do over in America with some of these recipes is a mixture of pork and beef, so that's what we're going to do today. So going in with... Now, the pork is sausage meat that we get over here in the UK. I didn't get Italian sausages because I cannot get the exact sausages that this recipe calls for, but I will link the recipe in the description if you want to follow the exact recipe. And we're going to be using our ground beef. Into this, we have some freshly grated Parmesan. Do you say Parmesan or Parmesan? We've also got some garlic, some salt, and some pepper. We need to pop in our bread that's been soaked in water. And finally, an egg. So we've got our mix, it's lovely and combined, and now we just need to make those meatballs into whatever size I think is going to be necessary. And I think one of those distinguishing things is that the American meatballs are so much bigger than the Italian meatballs, and that doesn't surprise me because when it comes to America, everything seems to be bigger and better. I'm going to go with this kind of size, and we're just going to give them a light dusting in flour. Okay. Now, there is one thing that you Americans absolutely know, and that is comfort food. I mean, anything that we have tried that is comforting has been delicious and filling. And never in a million years did I think that I would be cooking this many American meals in my kitchen. Now, I just need to cook these in a pan about half at a time. We're just going to brown them on all sides, but we're not going to worry about cooking them through at the moment. There's actually something so beautiful about these meatballs cooking. In fact, I'm actually crying. I don't know if you can see, but that is actually because I just cut an onion off camera. Oh, I think some of these I needed to roll a little bit more tightly. Okay, now some of these are browned all over. We're going to remove them from the pan. I don't know why, but some of them have fallen apart quite a bit. But maybe I need to add more egg in it, or maybe there's something else wrong with what I did or the way I was doing it. Right, I'm just going to get some of that fond, the burnt stuff off the bottom of the pan before I throw in my onions to make this marinara sauce. Some chopped onions. We're just going to saute these for a few minutes. Okay, now to add in some diced or minced garlic. Oh yes, I'm getting garlic wafts now. Okay, next up we're going in with our chopped tomato. Now I say chopped tomato because the recipe calls for crushed tomatoes, but we don't get crushed tomatoes here. They actually smell good. I'm gonna give that a stir. I'm gonna let this come to a simmer before adding back in my questionable meatballs. Okay, I told you I'd probably end up forgetting something. So just before it comes to a simmer, I'm gonna add in 2 bay leaves. And now we're gonna let it come to a simmer. We've got some simmering going on now, so I'm gonna add the meatballs back in here. Then we're just gonna leave it for about 30 minutes, at which point I'll prepare the spaghetti, and then we'll almost be ready to try this bad boy. Now I have got my questionable meatballs that fell apart, and I didn't want to put them in this because I think they will ruin the appeal because they don't really look like meatballs, but then I thought we're going to add it in, so we're going to just put it in and it can be part of the sauce. So if you do see any bits that aren't meatballs when we come to serving this, that will be the reason why.
When you were serving, I noticed you didn't rinse off the spaghetti with boiling water.
No, because a lot of the Americans said to us before that if you do that, the sauce doesn't stick to the pasta as much, so I didn't do that this time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, Alyssa has had a dinner, so she's just sat here having a couple of little snacks whilst we tuck into this one. What do you think of the smell, guys?
Yeah, it smells very tomatoey. I was expecting it to smell a bit more like the Italian herbs.
Ah.
Go!
Well, there is a little bit of basil in there. I added it in off camera as part of the simmering process. Oh, I forgot we've got garlic bread as well. So we've got a cheesy garlic bread.
It's quite warm, so we might need to blow on it, darling.
Okay, well, I'm going to go in for a meatball. You're going in as well? Just make sure it's not too hot.
This is everywhere.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, they're good. I'm just going to eat a meatball. Delicious.
So is this like American, or is this an Italian-American recipe? I'm thinking this is Italian-American recipe.
Correct. Now, something I learned, which I did tell the viewers, which they probably already knew, but it was new to me. Spaghetti and meatballs is not Italian. It is Italian-American.
What?
Oh, those meatballs are good.
Oh, no. They don't taste like our regular meatballs. What have we done to the meatballs?
So they are a mixture of pork and beef.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I'm led to believe is the way to do it. They don't actually taste as fatty. Like sometimes they can feel greasy. That's the word. They can feel quite greasy when you buy the store-bought ones. So I'm really liking the taste of these. There's a little bit of cheese you get, a subtle cheese flavour in them. But I'm liking like that they taste really good with that marinara sauce. I've not had spaghetti yet.
Oh, marinara sauce.
9 out of 6.
Oh my God!
Am I being rude by putting pepper on?
For some reason, I thought you had some ketchup, and I was going to say, yeah, you are. Salt and pepper is always to taste, so you're absolutely fine.
It's interesting what you were saying about the fat. It does seem less fatty.
I'm liking this.
Lovely with the cheese.
Okay.
Mama?
Thank you, darling. I'm going to put it out there. I think a little bit more salt and pepper, which I didn't add any more in because it says to taste. And obviously, we've all got very different tastes, and Lana doesn't have much salt.
This is for you.
Thank you. I think a little bit more salt and pepper, and this would be beautiful. So I am going to add some myself. But I've got to say, this is better than the store-bought.
Very light.
It's very delightful. Thank you, Poppy. Exactly what you were saying. It's lighter than the normal store-bought ones. It's just not as greasy, and it's a lot tastier, and yeah, much yummier, much fresher, like you said. I can't disagree with anything that you said. What I am going to ask though, is this more comforting and a good American, Italian or Italian-American comfort meal.
It is.
It is.
It's definitely comforting. You may hear I've got a bit of a cold going on. So this is really nice, really comforting. It's nice on the throat. It's smooth, tasty. Thank you, darling. Yeah, and it's got like a bit of an Italian hug.
It's all pairing really nicely together. Like you said, and I know I keep going on about it, it doesn't feel as heavy. It just feels fresh and tasty. And I think I could quite easily swap this out for the traditional store-bought ones that we've been using.
Definitely. It definitely holds the sauce on the spaghetti, which is, yeah, learned something there.
Now then, guys, it all boils down to the rating.
9 out of 6.
Oh,
I actually think it's so yummy.
do you? So as a rating, what would I go for? I think I'm going to go for a 9 out of 10. I think there's a couple of tweaks I would make just for my own palate, but I think it is a real good solid recipe, and obviously I've got to work on getting that meatball texture just right.
I think this is an excellent start to meatballs. I think, like you said, there's a couple of tweaks. It is tasty. The meatballs are superb. A couple of tweaks, this will easily be a 10 out of 10, but I think for now, I'm going to probably give this an 8.5 out of 10.
Let us know in the comments down below what you'd like to see us make next. And make sure you subscribe to the channel to stick around for all our great content. And all that leaves us to say is,
Take care,
God bless.
and see y'all in the next video.